Guys, how are you? It's Tuesday. So if you were in class today, you don't have to watch this video. If you came late, you know who you are. Or like you didn't do the assignment late, not like 5 minutes late, you should watch this video and you should do the assignment. So as you know, in classwork, there is a new section at the very top entitled Reader's Notebook. This entire unit, which is entitled Writing About Reading, which we are starting today, January 26th, is writing about reading. So even though you're writing, you're not putting it in your writer's notebook because you are writing about reading, with the exception of today's entry. Today's entry was not about any book in particular. Today's entry was designed to get you writing again because we have taken like a bit of a break, right? So today's assignment, you could write about anything you want to do under the sun. If you were in class, you wrote for 15 minutes. So you need to set a timer for 15 minutes if you weren't in class and write about anything you want. The only guidance I gave students, because we were actually supposed to do this after we listened to that short story yesterday, which we did not do. So if you were not in class on Monday, the expectation is that you've read and or listened to the party story, which is called The Stolen Party by Liliana Becker. Okay. So you've been exposed to that at this point in your lives because there is going to be, we're going to revisit that as this unit goes on. Okay. Today, you're setting a timer and you're writing for at least 15 minutes about anything you want. Now, to me, this unit lends itself more to the composition notebook, more so than typing in your reader's notebook, but it's totally up to you because especially on a day like today. So this is my old writer's notebook. So all my stuff about the narrative is at the very front of my writing. And then I have a new section, which is what I wrote today. And as you can see, they're fine, or I'm fine with it. It being like a little bit more sort of creative, and they're encouraging that because it's like whatever you want. Now, all of the entries will not be like that, but that one is. You are also going to be writing about reading. So like you might want to have like your writer's notebook with you and the book that you're writing about with you. This may or may not be the book you're writing about as you're going to see. Okay. So step one, figure out whether or not you're going to write directly into the reader's notebook on Google Classroom, or you're going to write in here in a composition notebook that is your reader's notebook. I'm okay with you switching back and forth. Okay. The important thing is no matter what, the information from the reader's notebook ends up in the digital reader's notebook, which may mean taking a picture of the paper notebook, not a picture, scanning it, right, through your notes in your phone, getting it into your drive, and calling it up from your drive into your reader's notebook, if that makes any sense. If you don't understand that, you should be logging into the Meet at 1:45 and being like, walk me through that, okay? Or having a friend do it or whatever. But again, if a 45-year-old English teacher can do it, you can probably do it too. If you can do TikTok, you can figure out how to put a PDF into a Google Doc that you share with your English teacher. I know you can. All right. In today's writing, there's just one thing that I want you to consider, which is what is your voice? So this is the text that I'm going to read to you, okay? And this is the only direct text. So today we talked about finding your voice, not anybody else's. So think about a time recently when you couldn't stop yourself from writing a text message, an email, or a note to someone. Maybe you were so mad you had to tell someone, or you were so confused about what was going on, you had to ask for help, or you just heard something or saw something that was so funny, you couldn't wait to send it along. I bet the writing sounded like you. So it's about finding your voice. The example they gave in class was sometimes I talk to my 9-year-old son after he's watched a half an hour of YouTube, and it is distinctly not his voice. It's someone else's voice. It's really annoying, actually, in the sense that it's too sarcastic and not how we treat each other in this life. So that is what they are striving to have you do. That's what they're trying to inspire you to have you do. Okay. Now we have a mentor text in the form of this book, no matter what. The other piece is that if there is a book that has been particularly inspiring to you, like you had a clear connection, this is the second direction, that you would want to bring that book along or bring it when we do our writing. Okay. It can also be a book that you want to read. For example, I need to read Internment before we read it as a class. So that to me, I was drawn to that book. I was interested in that book. I took a workshop. Somebody recommended it. I'm only on page 30. I got to read it before I teach it to you, right? So maybe that's my text. The other example I gave is I really loved reading Danny, the Champion of the World by Roald Dahl when I was a kid. I recently reread it with my own sons, and I like it in a distinctly different way than when I first read it. But again, I would use it as an example of a text that inspires me, that I feel a connection to. Because when I first read it, my connection was to Danny, the Champion of the World. And when I read it this summer, my connection was actually more clearly to the parent, the father of Danny, because now I'm a parent. Okay. So you have two things to do. Number one, figure out which writer's notebook you're going to write in. Write about whatever you want for 15 minutes and make sure, no matter what, it's accessible in your reader's notebook in Google Classroom. I have access to your reader's notebook because I generated it. Okay. Number two, if there is a text that you feel like you're going to be connected to in all this, bring that with you for the next time we do our writing. We are not doing our writing before Friday, so don't worry about it. Okay. So this video is for people that missed class and now need to do what they missed in class. If you did not miss class, you're just looking at the directions attached to this video in Google Classroom to make sure you're doing what you need to do. Okay. I look forward to watching the movie with you guys tomorrow and starting Greek mythology with you on Thursday. Have a lovely day. Thanks, guys.